is really freaking cool. And if Radian wants to get this back from me, good luck. They're gonna have to come to California for that. I'm not giving it back, I'm keeping it. I don't know, maybe. It's kind of a TBH, a little bit out of my price range, but it's super sick. Stay tuned. Today we are talking about the Radian Model 1. This is a absolutely fantastic rifle. It's got ambi controls. We'll talk about why they're so dang neat a little bit. We're going to show some shooting footage over the top of this video for most of it. Bottom line, to spoil it for you, this gun is just great. I loved it so much, and I'm very thankful that Radian sent it out to me for demo. Unfortunately, I don't really get to keep it, so I was very sad, so sad that I got myself a Radian ADAC lower for a pistol build that I was working on. I think that the Radian has a whole lot to offer. It's by far the best AR that I have had the chance to shoot on this channel. It's just, I cannot sing its praises enough. We'll talk about why I like it so much, how I had it set up, performance, reliability, accuracy, and whether or not it's worth it. Before we get going though, I do want to say thank you to the sponsor of the channel. It is Barbell Apparel. Barbell Apparel makes great clothing for people that live an active lifestyle. If you got thick thighs that save lives, you're going to want to pick up some of their jeans or their pants. They are fantastic. They got a little bit of stretch, very durable. I wear them out on the range. They have a great warranty and return program. Check them out. If you get anything, tell them I sent you. There's a little survey at the end of the checkout process of how you heard about them. Let them know that I sent them your way. So again, thank you to Barbell. Because of them, I'm able to shoot as much as I do on this channel and provide you some information. I'm in the state of California. We're gonna get it right out of the way. This gun is equipped with a fin grip. The stock is fixed and it has a muzzle brake on it, not a flash hider. Something to consider. That's why in most of the footage that you're gonna see, I am shooting it with my thumb wrapped around. A lot of you are confused. Why would I do that? It's because this state is the way it is, and I have confirmation that the California Department of Justice does actively monitor my channel, so no, I will not be breaking the law on camera and posting it so that I don't get arrested. It's not ideal. Anyways, let's talk about the features of this gun really quick. It comes with this very interesting buffer tube that is lightened. I don't really know if this is worth it, but it comes standard with a H profile, or an H2. Actually, I thought this one was an H buffer. It is an H2 buffer. It is really nice. The recoil pulse is very smooth. Ejection and extraction is very consistent. It's been perfectly reliable. Do I think that you need to go out and get some fancy buffer tube? Probably not. Most standard buffer tubes work. If you want to get real fancy, go with an intermediate length system. But buffer tube, the castle nut end plate has a quick detach point. I don't really use those. This is the Magpul stock. I believe this is the CTR stock that has QD swing swivels. The lower receiver is very neat. This has ambi controls. You can lock the bolt to the rear as a right-handed shooter by pressing and holding the mag release. You can drop the bolt up here, and then on the left side it is fully ambi. So you have a left side mag release here, and as a lefty, you're fortunate enough that you can just reach the bolt catch, and that's pretty neat. You might be wrong in a lot of ways, the world might hate you, nothing's designed for you, but ARs seem to work pretty okay for a lefty. So the ADAC lower is super, super nice in my opinion. They're a little heavy, they're very pricey, but I think if anything, these make a great framework to start a build. The Radian Talon ambi selector is kind of just my general go-to. If someone says, hey, I want an ambi selector for my AR, I say, just go with the Radian. Unless you have something super specific for why you would want something else, get the Radian. It just works. They're easy to install. You can swap the short paddle and the long paddle on either side, whatever you want to do. And they've got a good track record. So in my opinion, there's no reason to stray away from all reliable. Continuing with the lower, this has their single stage Vertex trigger, I believe it is called. So we'll just go ahead and pull that. Very little movement. Now, positive reset. I love a light, crisp trigger pull, but many triggers that do that end up having a weak reset. I have an ATC AR Gold trigger. Light reset, crazy light, super little movement. But the reset, or light trigger pull, but the reset on that trigger is just non-existent. This one manages to do a very good job. You will see some criticism online from people saying that this is just a rebranded Timney Impact. I don't know if that's true. All I know is that this trigger lets me shoot fast and it lets me shoot accurate. I am not a big two-stage trigger guy. I really like a single-stage trigger, and this one does the job very well. It just works. That's really all I can say. It's good. Featureless grip. There's better grips on the market, but this one's pretty good as a right-hand shooter. As a left-hand shooter, you don't really have the ledge. This is definitely set up to be better for a righty because your palm can kind of still get behind the grip here. As a lefty, you're kind of just gripping a very flat, smooth surface, as you can see. A long time ago, I wasn't really a true believer in the ADAC system, but as I learned more about it and saw people use it, like Kyle Manzano of Manzano Munitions, I will show a video of him running the ADAC system and showing a lot of the benefits when it comes to clearing malfunctions, which will not happen most likely with this gun, but you could very smoothly, and why this setup is actually very good. Moving on to the upper, the bolt carrier group is an enhanced bolt carrier. Some people will criticize it and say that it's OEM'd by someone else. That might be true, but it's got a slick nitride finish on it. It works really well. I have not had any issues with reliability, and something to keep in mind, this is a demo loaner gun from Radian, and it had signs of wear on everywhere that you would expect wear on this gun. I have no idea how many rounds have been through it. I know that I put over 1,000 rounds into it and I did not have any issues. So the gun worked for whoever else had it before me, I assume. It's working for me now, and it's got an unknown round count, but it performs fantastically. Anyways, the overall, just the way that this moves, super smooth. So this AR pistol that I have here, like there is not a captive buffer. There's a standard buffer spring and an H2 buffer. Hear that? Real scratchy. Now, that's a very new gun. Like, that just moves great. As you would expect, Radian includes their Radian charging handle on it. I believe this is the SD. You can get the Radian Raptor LT pretty affordably. And in my opinion, the best things Radian makes for a general build is the safety, the Radian Talon, and the Radian Raptor charging handle. And of course, they include that on their gun. The upper receiver is very, very interesting. It's got this lockup method for the handguard that is supposed to make it more free floaty, if that's a way to describe it. But it seems to lock up pretty solid. It basically seems impossible for it to move. I've not noticed any shifting whatsoever. I've not seen anyone, because when I do these reviews, I go online and I see what people are saying, what issues they're running into. The only issue that I can find generally with people using their Radians is that they're too expensive and they can't afford one and they don't have one. That seems to be the main problem that people have with Radian. They're mad that they are pricey, and yes, they are. But the upper receiver is pretty bulky, not super pleased with that, but the handguard is comfortable. It works really well. The M-lock points all worked just fine. The lockup on this is theoretically better than a typical AR. The barrel is a 16-inch stainless steel. It's not quite like a super heavy profile, but it's definitely not lightweight at all. The gas block is basically just a standard gas block. I mean, there's nothing really fancy that I can notice about it. It's got 2 screws, but it's not moved whatsoever, and I know that this gun was used heavily prior to getting into my hands. The muzzle brake that they shipped it with is some sort of chemo muzzle device. I don't have any cans that I can test on it that have a chemo adapter built into it, so I didn't test this gun suppressed, but let's talk about how I set this gun up. Well, I didn't really do much to it. I put this primary arms PLXC, which I've been enjoying. I've used this on a variety of test guns, and I think this is going to be my dedicated tester optic for any rifle in the future that I do test, because it's fantastic. It works really well. It's a 1:8 first focal plane. The PLXC everyone kind of considers it like the best optic you can get without having to spend over 2 bills. You can get it for like 1.3 billaroonies. It's a fantastic premium optic without paying double the price of the competitors that you would have to splurge for to get something literally just as good as this. I also put this Magpul bipod on it because I wanted to shoot from a bench. I wanted to shoot prone. I was doing some testing with it, and I figured let's just try it out. It works. It's fine. It's not the greatest, but in a pinch, it works, and it's lightweight. Speaking of lightweight, the Radian is not. This gun stripped down, I believe, is about 8 pounds, which isn't unreasonable, but similar length barrel system ARs typically run in the 6.5 to 7 range, so there's a lot of extra material with it being billet, but you get some functionality out of it, and that's definitely a con in some ways, but for me, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I'm holding this one hand without even wrapping my thumb around it. And it's, you know, it's fine. Granted, I'm a little bit taller. I'm a grown man, so it's not the worst thing for me. But for a smaller statured person, this might not be for you, or at least the upper might not be for you. I think the lower is a great place to work from with these guns. The accuracy of the gun. Oh my God, it was incredible. They absolutely knocked it out of the park with this barrel. I shot a 30 shot group, okay? 30, not 3. Your 3 round groups, they don't count. I shot a 30 round group at about 2 inches with cheap Lake City 5.56 XM193. I don't know what sort of voodoo magic they got going on in here, but man, is this gun super, super accurate. Now, I can't really speak highly enough of the accuracy of this gun, but it's a fairly medium to medium heavy weight profile stainless steel barrel. That's kind of what you want. If you're gonna sacrifice on the longevity for accuracy, you want good accuracy, and this absolutely delivers. And for the price, I haven't mentioned it yet because of YouTube, for about 3 billaroonies, yeah, this thing better be dang accurate. Well, let's talk about reliability. Well, reliability, it's been perfect. I've had no issues whatsoever. But let's say you want to do some business with this gun and you get a malfunction. Well, I'm going to let Kyle take over and talk to you about the merits of the ambidextrousness of this gun. Now, he's a big old gorilla. He's a big ape, and he is a lefty. He's going to show you as a lefty and as a righty things that you can do with this system, because I initially did not believe in it, but I've learned to love it in a way that I don't know if I can ever go back. Unfortunately, I can't sell all of my firearms, but I would love to convert everything over to the ADAC lower system because it is just that nice.
Hey guys, Kyle Manzano from Manzano Munitions. I want to talk about ambidextrous rifle lowers. So growing up as a lefty and on rifle platforms, I always had to make sure that I was looking for a lower that had ambidextrous features on it. I started out with a Santan tactical lower. I went to a Sig Virtus lower at some point, and then I even ended up on a Radian ADAC lower. So the Radian ADAC is what I've been running for the last couple of years. But there's a couple different things that are ambidextrous lowers beneficial specifically that I want to point out. So whether you're shooting precision with like thumb same side, you have a safety here that you're able to manipulate, or if you're wrapping your thumb around, right, you have a safety on both sides of the gun so that you're able to work it that way. You have the bolt. Let's do the magazine. So you have the magazine release right here, right, for lefty for triggers, or if you're shooting it right-handed, right, you have your normal magazine release here, and then you have your bolt release here on this side for your pointer finger, and then for lefties, we have our normal bolt release on this side, okay? Now, the reason why I found ambidextrous lowers to be beneficial was you're able to do multiple tasks at once. So if I am on a high or low ready, turning the safety off once I get up, I shoot, I'm able to drop the mag. As I'm dropping the mag, my finger's sitting on the bolt release. I send the bolt forward, and then I'm able to bring my hand up. I'm doing multiple tasks with both of my hands versus if I just have my right hand do everything, or I'll do this as a righty actually. So shot, mag release, right, drop mag, mag comes in, I press the bolt release forward, and then I reestablish grip, right? So I'm waiting for my left hand to do everything before I'm able to shoot again. So versus if I'm using my trigger finger, for me, my left hand, the trigger finger to do the magazine release and the bolt release. So I'm here, safety off, shot, drop mag, insert mag. As I'm going for my grip, I'm able to drop my bolt forward as I'm reestablishing my grip so that we're not waiting for one hand to drop bolt and reestablish grip. Right, some people, they'll miss that button. Some people will like use their whole hand to like slam the button. If you're able to just simply here, mag out, mag in, bolt forward as you're going up to the grip, it allows you to multitask and kind of do certain things quicker because again, you're just being more efficient in the process. So it'll look something like this. Alrighty guys, so we have a failure to extract, one in the chamber, another one trying to get into the chamber. I'm gonna do this as a lefty as if I didn't have an ambidextrous lower, okay? So I'm gonna have the bolt release, I'm gonna have no magazine release on this side, magazine release on this side, no bolt release on this side. So here, shot, I'm gonna have to lock the gun back, comes out, right? So having to completely disengage from the gun because I'm now focused on using both hands to clear that out, definitely slows down the process and makes it less efficient as a whole. Alright, yes, so as you guys saw, there's a lot of different benefits to having ambidextrous lowers, and really just as you're trying to run the gun faster and be more efficient with the manipulations of the gun, cannot recommend ambidextrous lowers enough. There's a reason why you're starting to see the industry move toward ambidextrous lowers. You have your really nice high quality brands like Radian's, Agency, Noveski, ADM. There's a lot of really good ones out there, Santa Tacticals, but you'll start seeing even like kind of lower level, entry level rifles, I guess is the better way to call it, starting to come out with their own versions of ambidextrous lowers. So highly recommend if you guys do go towards a lower, get an ambidextrous one. It's just a more efficient, faster, quicker way to kind of work this system. And again, if you guys need any help, let us know at Manzano Munitions in Santa Clara, and we'll help take care of you. Appreciate you guys.
So yeah, while this gun never gave me a malfunction, I know that it is better for clearing them than a typical AR-15, and that's awesome. I know you might be thinking, man, I'm really glazing this thing. Might as well just hop on there, spit on it before you start schlobbing it like that, right? I'm sorry. I had so much fun shooting this gun. I've been shooting a lot of funky ranch rifles and wacky things lately, so to come back to traditional ARs and have such a great experience with this gun, man, like it was a breath of fresh air. It was the best day I had at the range in a long time when I took this thing out. And it really just made me miss normal ARs because it is featureless. So unfortunately we got to deal with that, but it is nice. It is very, very nice. This gun could not have performed better in my opinion. I can't think of a metric that it could have done better. It was super accurate. It was 100% reliable. It shoots well, it's gassed fairly consistently. You might notice some inconsistencies on ejection with in some of the video that you've seen, but really it's like 90% of the bullets or the spent casings are going in the exact same spot. The bullets are going exactly where I want to put them, and that's great. With ammo, bulk ammo specifically, you're gonna get a little bit of variation with ejection pattern, but when I was using standard 5.56 loads, I was getting anywhere from 3 to 4 o'clock ejection, and I'm perfectly happy with that. I think that's good. That's really good. Again, the main cons with this gun, it's a little bit bulky. It's a little bit heavy, and it's super, super expensive. Should you buy one? I don't know. Like it is expensive. And I have plenty of good ARs that are half the price. So we've definitely passed that point of diminishing returns. You're not getting twice the gun going from 15 to 3. But, you know, if you have the means, you won't be disappointed, that's for sure. If you have the means and you have the upper body strength to handle this, you will absolutely love this thing. I know Kyle from Manzano Munitions, my part-time employer, he had a Radian AR that he put about 40,000 rounds through. And if you saw the video of him shooting earlier, you know that he shoots at a speed that is absolutely ludicrous. Well, he put about 40,000 rounds through the gun at near fully semi-automatic speeds, and he popped a gas tube. that was the first thing to go. He shot 40,000 rounds to the gun before he sent it back to Radian. They fixed it up, sent it back to him, and that was super cool. Now, I don't think most people are going to do that. I don't think most people are going to get the performance benefits of this gun. So for the average shooter, it's probably not for you. But if you just like really nice things, this is a really nice thing. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you have one? Would you pick one up? Would you pick up just the Radian lower? I'm really just curious. Do you think it's overpriced? If so, let me know. Have you had a bad experience? Let me know. I'm always trying to gather more and more information so that I can better review things in the future. So if you have an anecdote or a few anecdotes, let me know. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.